Welcome to the Sword Coast. There was a time when Kallax and his companions were held prisoner in the prison of Mazmorra. This story takes place sometime after Fenrir was sent to the prison of Mazmorra and broke Kallax and his companions out. When we last saw Kallax and Fenrir, they had captured the corrupt warden and let Lothander roll the dice as to where they would teleport. And they whisked away. And they've been traveling the road for some time, trying to meet back up with Fenrir's companions, Jaster. And we come to a little town called Baldur's Gate. Fenrir and Kallax are walking along the town, just trying to find their way and just getting along their journey.
Do they have the warden with them?
They have the warden. So right before they enter the city, Fenrir will say, "So what should we do with him?" You've got the warden handcuffed, I would imagine, and gagged.
I'd like to bring him to justice, but I don't know if two escaped convicts will be, especially in Baldur's Gate of all places, will be believed.
Well, maybe we tie him to this tree and go into the city. See if we can have a nice night in a bed for once.
I don't know if he's done some foul deeds, but I don't know if I want to leave him in a tree. Perhaps you have contacts here? I mean, maybe I could take him to the church of Lothander.
There you go. Maybe we can pawn him off on somebody. You guys make your way into Baldur's Gate, I'll say. And Fenrir kind of looks around, and I think that he would probably, by this time, been given some hints as to where he can look for symbols of where he might be able to contact some Zentarum. And he is able to find a small little, I'll say like a hideaway house that he has access to. And you guys will leave the water baron tied up in the little house. And we'll even say that there's like another Zentarum there, and he says, "Keep an eye on this fellow for us for a while." And you go, "Oh yeah, certainly," because Fenrir is now the rank of wolf. So yeah, we'll leave him there. So now you guys are walking the streets of Baldur's Gate, just enjoying a little stroll, and Fenrir says, "Why don't we find a place to stay tonight and get a nice bowl of porridge and maybe some meat to eat, huh?"
Yeah, I often heard that Baldur's Gate made Skullport look like Cambodia, but it's not too bad here. I've heard lots of negative things. I've never been here myself.
Oh, it's a pretty nice town. I mean, I've gotten into some trouble here before. Fought a big giant beat. No, none for me, thank you. People are just hustling, bustling around the streets. And as this is happening, an old man is standing on the side of the road, and he seems to be, you can tell that he's blind. His eyes are white, and he's, begging. And as you guys approach, you start to feel that you're not going to be able to walk by this fellow without him at least being within earshot of him.
"Hello, please. Alms for the poor. Alms for the poor. Please help me. Anything you can give. Sirs. Sirs."
I guess the question would be, they didn't have any money or anything when they left the portal?
I would say that Fenrir might have had a way of obtaining a few gold pieces.
I'm saying like a little bug-out bag from the Zentarum or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So you'll say you have some access to some gold if you want.
Do you...
Alms for the poor.
Of course.
Please, sir. Oh. Please.
Yes, yes. I give him some coin.
Clink. Oh, bless you, sir, bless you. And as he claws at your robes a little bit, you can't help but look into this old man's face. And because of your past, no matter how far you've come with your travels with Lothander, your past always finds a way of haunting you. And seeing this old blind man brings Kallax back to a place long ago. We go now to the seashore, a long stretch of it, with almost no one along the Sword Coast living in this patch of wilderness. The sky is gray, the wind is blowing, the waves are crashing against the beach, and a lone figure, Kallax, walks along the shore. He's stalking a prey. He has been sent on a mission, and he is wearing very well kept leather armor and jewelry, and even a gold circlet on his head. But wrapped around him is a sort of like black cloak that he must have donned because it's very windy and cold, and it's just something kind of like a windbreaker, if you will. And it blows over his face and is flapping in the wind as he walks along the seashore. The mission that he has been sent on is an assassination mission. There was a man who used to be a member of the Night's Watch, and he was in with some gamblers and gangsters, and for whatever reason he has fallen out of favor. And Kallax, using his resources and maybe even some intel from his dwarven friend, has found out the location of where the man ran off to, because he's in hiding. And he heard about a little sea shack that's all by itself out there in the middle of the wilderness along the seashore where the man is hiding. And he is now stalking his prey. And I will let you describe what he does from this moment as you come upon this shoddy little shanty. You can see a light in the window and smoke coming out of the chimney. So obviously someone is here.
So it's the night's dusk has fallen?
It's gray out.
Yeah.
We'll say that it's maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's a overcast day. Windy, chilly. You can approach this any way you want. You can see that there's a door here. The door is closed.
Well, he's cocky, and he's got both the tusks, scimitars at his waist, and he's got a dagger right behind his back, tucked under his belt there. He's going to just walk right up to the door.
Okay. No one has taken notice of you coming up to the door. You can hear inside maybe just someone shuffling around, going about their business inside.
He's going to test the door.
I'm going to test the door. Roll an investigation check for me.
It's going to be 18.
18. The door is locked, but you know that it looks very simple. Like you could possibly even just stick the tip of your dagger into the lock hole and flip open the lock.
Of course. So he unsheaths a little bore. He sticks it in there.
Clink! And as you do that, you can tell that this is just like a latch door that comes up so that you can push the door slowly open if you'd like, or any way you like. You could kick it open if you'd like.
He's all about the pageantry, but he's not going to kick it open. He wants to move kind of like a panther, like
Okay.
he's not afraid of anything around him. He's set to task.
Mm-hmm.
He's yet to meet any challenge that he hasn't been able to do. They call him Kallax the Unquenched because both his tusks desire blood, and they want to be fed, and they're thirsty all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taken on this manifestation of what these people said. He wants to build this fear that people have of him, that he's getting his name's starting to get around in Skullport. That's why he's getting a job like this, because he's moving up the ranks of the Beast of Burden. And there's a lot of other people in Skullport who are starting to take a shine to him. You know, you'd say like the Beast of Burden were like a minor league team, and some of the major league teams got their eye on him. So he wants to make sure to overdo it.
Right.
Because he doesn't mind witnesses. You know, what are they going to do? Come to Skullport and arrest him? No. He wants people to see it. So yes, he's going to just gently open the door and allow it to creak and all that good stuff.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it does. You want it to creak the door?
Yes, he wants that ominous, you know,
as the door
scary man
creaks
approach.
open, you see inside just a very bare minimum thing going on here. Just this person's it's just used as a little hideout place, and the man quickly turns around and looks at you. And you lock eyes. This man meets the description pretty much. He has short, dark hair, brown hair, and he seems startled. Oh, you. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for a drink. Do you have a drink, friend? I'm parched. The sand of the beach has dried out my throat, and I am so very thirsty. You could say I'm unquenched.
There's a well outside. You can go.
My friend.
Help yourself.
I'm not a milk drinker. Do you have any ale? For I am a wanderer.
No ale here. No ale here. No, you have to go. You have to go.
I'm sure you have some ale.
You see
somewhere
over
around
on the
here.
side of the room that there's a crossbow sitting on the table, and he's not gone for it, but you can tell his pinky and his hand are kind of like making a move. You need to go now. I'm serious. You need to get out of here.
How fast do you think you are? If I let you have one shot, I have to take a piece of you then.
Listen here. I know why you're here. I didn't mean for things to get so messed up. You don't have to do this, sir. I'll just leave. I can pay you. I got money.
Well, I'm already getting paid, but I'm more than willing to hear your offer.
I got a bag of gold. Just back there.
Oh, by the crossbow?
Yeah. I'll just grab it real quick.
How about I grab it?
No.
Sit down, friend. Lucky for you, I brought us some wine.
And he runs for the crossbow, and he picks it up. And he comes forward, and he's going to try and shoot you.
Okay.
He takes one bolt. It's only going to be 14 to hit.
Misses. So he did both.
Hits the wall. Now he knows he's fucked.
Now I got to take a piece of you. What piece will it be?
And he comes at you with the butt of the crossbow to try and hit you in the face.
Okay.
And you can roll for initiative, or you know what? I'm just gonna let you react.
Yeah, I mean, as he's coming,
It's just one guy.
I'd imagine he's probably had the
You're ready
dagger.
for it.
He probably had the dagger in his hand anyway as he unleashed the door. As he runs up, he already had the dagger, but it was underneath his cloak, and he's just gonna put it up and just kind of go. He doesn't want to kill him just yet. He just wants to maim him a little bit. Maybe just put the dagger right into his shoulder and try to pin him.
And he falls to his knees in anguish, and blood pours out, hot blood all over his face and the sides of his arm.
He twists the dagger a bit. Now,
give up! I won't try it again. Please.
kick the crossbow across the floor.
He takes his hand and he pushes it as far away as he can.
Crossbow, really? Do you know what a man does? A man carries a blade and he twists the knife a little bit more. And he starts to pull it out, but then he kind of puts it back in. Because it's more personal. See, this blade here, I've had it for as long as I can remember. It was one of the first blades my old man made. And he finally pulls it out. And he's cleaning it off on him. You want to shoot me from down there so you don't have to look me in the eyes. Me? Well, I like to get it in personal. Now, let me ask you a question. He's waving the knife around his face. where do you keep your drink? A man like you out here in the middle of nowhere's got a drink.
He points to the table there. The table's got a jug
Okay.
and a couple of cups.
Now, why don't you pour us a glass?
He stands up and he's just kind of like holding his arm, and he walks over there and he reaches down and he takes the jug and he pours you both. This looks like red wine.
Why don't you sit down? Come on.
He sits down.
That's much better, isn't it?
What are you gonna do to me?
I'm going to kill you.
No,
But don't you at least enjoy your wine?
you're just gonna kill me if I drink it. She won't. Kind of like nervously sips it. It's like running down his cheeks and stuff. He's trying his best to keep his eye on you and not.
How does
go
a
too
wine
far.
taste?
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good wine.
Now you know why I'm here, right?
I know.
What did you do?
I told the city watch. They were putting pressure on me. I had to turn. I had to.
What did you tell the city
I
watch?
told them about the job, about what they were doing, what they was up to. I didn't give any more no names, just a specific gang name. I just told them. It was the Ratburns.
What do I know about the Ratburns?
You know that it's a local gang. That's probably who is hired the beast of burden to come after this fellow. This is who he was involved with. He probably, as a night's watchman, was doing dirty deeds, turning a blind eye here and there, but then the particular event must have happened where they stole from some place and he was on guard that night, and the Night's Watch, they've been hearing about his corruption, and he's been kind of like under investigation, and they figured it out, and they put him under, basically they said, we'll hang you if you don't tell us. And he says, well, they'll kill me anyway, but he went into hiding.
He's drinking the wine. It's not the best. It reminds me of the shit they served me in Skullport.
I'm sorry.
A man should always have a good drink with him because he never knows when it's going to be his last drink.
Right. If you're going to do me anyway, you mind if I have another?
Absolutely, please.
He pours another one, and this time he drinks it much faster. All right then. Get over with.
All right. He walks up behind him. And he pulls one of the tusks out, waves it above his head, and goes right in with it. Right through the back of his neck. Just don't struggle. Acceptance.
Blood comes spewing out of his mouth. And do you pull the sword out?
Oh, yes.
After you pull it out, the blood just kind of shoots straight up and hits all over the ceiling. And he falls over sideways and clumps onto the floor. Now it's around this time you hear little faint footsteps coming from the other side of the house there. And the door opens up. And this little old man comes through the door. Shane, you alright? Well, I thought I heard someone's voice. Are you there, son? And you can tell that this old blind man is probably with his son, and he's been taking care of it.
Well, I regret to inform you, old man. Your son is dead.
Who's that then? Who are you?
I'm the Red Boar.
The Red Boar?
Yes.
I ain't never heard of no Red Boar before.
Then I have to work harder.
My son is dead.
By his own hand, his own choices.
He would never do that. He knows it. He's got to take care of me. Who's going to take care of me now? I'm doomed.
you know that this place is probably so far out in the wilderness, this guy will not survive. It's up to you what you do from this point on. Do you leave the old man, or do you kill him as a quick mercy? It's up to you.
Oh, he would think to himself, yes, I suppose I could do you a quick mercy. What god do you pray to?
Now, he didn't ask you to kill him. He just said, you've doomed me. So,
Nice.
But it's up to you to decide how Kallax responds.
Kallax got the sword out. He's cleaning off on his son. Well, old man, if you're not going to spread my legend, and you're just going to stay here and die, there's no good wine here. I could do you a privilege, an honor, and I'll put you down just like I did your son.
Yes. I have no desire to live in this world without him. You cruel, cruel man. May the gods curse you.
The gods. What do the gods care about us? What have they done to help us? Look at you, old man. You can't even see. They've stricken you blind and made you useless.
I may be blind, but I can see that you are a wicked, wicked man.
A wicked man would burn you alive in here. I'm willing to do you a service. Go crawl into your bed. I'll put you down gently, like a pig, for slaughter.
I will lay down next to my son.
And he walks over, and he gets down on his knees as he kind of like can feel the pool of blood, and he puts his hand on his son and just weeps over him.
My old man cried for me too. Know that the tears were useless. Save him, old man. You'll soon be out of your misery.
He just continues to weep.
Be done with it.
Similar to the sun, he would take this sword right above him, and he would bring it down right on his neck.
So you dispatch this old man, and with that, we go back to the present. Back to Fenrir and Kallax in the present day.
Yep. The old man almost looks just like that old man.
Yes.
And Kallax can taste the wine again, and he hasn't drank. He doesn't drink, and it just his mouth.
Get the house back up.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me. Thank you for this. Bless you. Bless me. The gods bless you, sir.
And you just remember that day and how cruel you were to that old man, and your deed just haunts you. But your life has changed, and ever since you have escaped the prison, you just feel so good about your destiny and your fate in your war against the Night Sister. The Night Sister?
Sure.
Yes, that's her name, right? So, and like Lathander, almost you don't hear his voice, but it's almost like you can feel his presence, and it warms up inside you, and you feel compelled to reach out and touch the man on his eyes and say a Lathander prayer.
Yeah. Well, so Kallax is thinking about the old man and the hut and how, no one would have ever found them out there. Mm-hmm. He could have let them both go, but his pride got to him, and he felt he had to take care of, he had to take care of the target. He feels guilty because he used his other sword, his second scimitar. He let them both drink of them. And he's trying to think, why was I so cocky that I thought that was... Why did I think that was neat?
Why was I into this?
And he stands over the blind man sitting there, and lots of regret, lots of. He was happy to go to Mazmorra. He was ready to do his time. He was upset that he took his friends with him. He wished they didn't get mixed up in it, but he was ready to just serve in prison for the rest of his life, pay for his crimes. And much like you said, the gods have seen fit to do something different. And what he hasn't told Fenrir is he knows that future. It was explained to him by Grey Wolf. And for years he's been waiting for the time that him and Fenrir would be reunited, and his path to illuminate the darkness would begin. And so he looks at the old man, torn from his past deeds, but also knowing that maybe he has to do something more to pay for those deeds, those crimes. He has to be maybe the ultimate sacrifice in this battle of light versus dark. He says, from death, life, there is always another morning. In the dawn, beauty reigns, and the way is clearer. And he pulls his hands back.
It's almost like the skies rumble and it starts to rain. But light comes from your fingers and into this man's face. And all of a sudden his eyes go from being white to whole. And as you come into vision, he sees you and he says, "What is this? What joy!
It is a miracle! I can see! I can see! Lathander be praised! He has healed me through the hand of his acolyte! Oh, I fall at your mercy, sir! Thank you! I can see! I can see! I will run through the streets and tell everyone I am so happy!
And he starts running around, just grabbing people like a madman, screaming, shaking them that he can see. And everyone's looking at you, and they're murmuring, and just whispering, and like, and like a little Osmond. Well, that's one way to make a scene.
Yes, I may have overplayed my hand.
I didn't know you were capable of such miracles.
That's the power of Lathander. I had nothing to do with it.
Amazing.
His will ran through me, I suppose.
There's more to you than meets the eye. I'll tell you that. Come on, let's go and get some lunch, holy man. Fenrir will just tug you along. Say, let's go.
He's a little bewildered by it.
You just healed a man.
I know. I mean, he's been a cleric and he's healed people, but not like...
Never like that.
Yeah.
Something special about it. Almost like Lathander is like favoring him. Maybe he paid his penance, you know? So he's starting to feel... that must feel really good for him, I would say. And,
yes.
That old man continues to...
A double milk.
That man continues to run around, tell everyone he can see. I can't believe that you're capable of doing such things. You know, I could never be a holy man myself. I enjoy the fighting too much. So long as I can make my living with a sword, I will do so. I hear that you used to be quite the killer. Our mutual friend, Jaster, he told me all about it.
I don't know if I like the term killer. I understand. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm a little taken back from the elder men. I've dedicated my life to the church of Lathander and to being a cleric of life, and I don't know, I've never been able to heal someone that well. I'm pleased with myself, but I mean...
That was truly amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Well, I guess I have. I mean, my friend Percy does some amazing things with magic.
Oh.
You know, Jasper might be able to use your help. He's missing an eye on account of me. Maybe you could give his back to him.
I don't know if it works like that, Fenrir. It was the strangest sensation, as if I was making up for past crimes. You called me a killer. I don't wear that badge of honor. I know you swing a sword, and I know you do good deeds. I can never tell you to stop your path. I can only show you there's another path. There's a path of peace.
Peace. Maybe someday, sir, but not today. I have many, many fights ahead of me.
But wouldn't you like the idea that you could one day put your sword away and grow tomatoes in a garden?
Let me tell you something, Kallax. That is not the way for my people. One day I will once again walk through the halls of the mighty Uthgar and Tempos and fight on the eternal battlefield. That is my destiny. That is the way of the Uthgar.
What about eternal peace? Calm, raise a family.
Ha! I have no time for such things. Besides, I see what kind of a little shit I was to my father, and I don't want one of my own. Although there may be a few that I don't know about. You know what I mean? Oh, I do love the women. As a matter of fact, there's one right there. Just look at her. How can you ever say no to such things?
And over on the side of the street, you can tell you're starting to head through a part of town where there might be like inns and things, you know. And this beautiful woman, who's obviously just very well dressed. This does not look like your, hey, penny for my coiffer, you know, kind of run-of-the-mill hooker. This looks like almost like a courtesan is what we'll say. And she has black hair and pale porcelain skin, big green eyes, luscious big hips, voluptuous. Just a picturesque Frazetta girl in a courtesan's outfit. And as you two pass by, that was quite a feat. Why don't you let me take care of you, boys? I will make all your dreams come true.
I must decline. Thank you, madame. But I am a widower, and I swore an oath not to betray my past wife, Mira.
That is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. She comes up, she rubs your chest, and she goes, and she kind of turns her head, and as you gaze into her eyes, again, your memory drifts off into another place. So you remember riding in the carriage with Wilhelm. And Wilhelm is just sitting beside you, and he'll go ahead and he'll say, now, I know that you've been wanting to become a full-fledged member of this gang. This job is going to solidify that place for you, my friend. Trust me. Tonight you're going to earn your stars. So let me tell you a little story. There were these men. They decided one day they wanted to be very rich. Now, they weren't born rich. They were men like you and I. Men of action. And the only way for men like you and I to ever get rich is to take them. So, they took a very large sum. And the instructions that they were given after they took that large sum was that they needed to lay low for a while. Keep a profile that's not so flamboyant. Because you know what happens when you're flamboyant, don't you, Kallax, with your money? Take a guess.
Paint a target on yourself?
That's right. That's right, Kallax. You're a smart man. I knew you were. Anyways, one of these men, well, he just didn't listen. He's been buying things with his gold, lavish things. He went from a pauper to a very well-dressed man, and he's been spending money left and right in a particular tavern. He's been staying there for weeks, just running his mouth every night, paying for all the drinks. People are coming now just to see the spectacle. And it's drawing heads, just as you guessed. Your job tonight is to go into this tavern and follow him to wherever he may go at the end of the night, and make sure that he never talks again. Do I make myself clear?
Understood.
Now, just so you know, I need you to do something special. Or, not special, I need you to make sure that there are no witnesses. No one can see you commit this act. There can be no evidence that Beast of Burden were involved. There can be no evidence that the men that he did his heist with were involved. That means that anyone he may have a relationship with will also have to die, because loose lips sink ships, as they say. Before you go, I'm going to drop you off right here. I got a little special present for you. I'm sorry I stole your father's knife off you. You didn't actually lose it. I just thought I would customize it for you. And he pulls out your father's knife, he hands it to you, and it's got a new pommel on it, and it's a boar. And he looks at it and he says, "Earn the name."
He pulls it out and looks at it. Well, it looks like you sharpened it too. My father was never quite the best at blade making, so... When I'm done with this job, you'll have to show me how you got that off of me without me noticing. Consider that part of my payment plan.
Well, just make sure you bring it back covered in blood, or don't come back at all. Best of luck to you, till that day. And he drops you off, and now you can enter the tavern. Wish these people would get going. Won't sound like a hustling, bustling place. Okay, so the bar is a little bit more hustly and bustly than the sound would have you believe. It sounded pretty good last night, but anyway, people are in there just a singing. There's a bard in the corner just strumming, and there's just a lot of hustle and bustle going on. Looks like a happy, lucky place here in the city of Waterdeep.
What's the description of the target? I'm
The
sorry.
place is called Lucky's.
Okay.
By the way, you've been told that he's a thin man with long blonde hair, and that he used to dress like a pauper, but now he dresses like a dandy ever since this heist has happened, and that he's pretty much the life of the party. So you enter into the tavern, and you go, and well, tell me what you do. Do you find a table? Do you sit at the bar? What do you do?
He just walks in and kind of takes in the atmosphere, sees if he can spy the guy.
You see some hustle and bustle over here on this side of the bar, and you do see several people that may be your men, but no one's particularly making a whole lot of noise at the moment. So you decide that maybe you should wait for a little longer.
Yeah, he's going to go up to the bar and order a drink.
All right. Hey there. Welcome. What can I do for you?
I have an ale.
All right.
And he pours you an ale, and he scoots it over to you.
Is this the finest ale you have?
Certainly is. Only got one kind anyway. There's whiskey too.
No. An ale will do.
Very well.
It's his copper up there. Kind of just sit back in a chair, drinking the ale.
You sit back in your chair, and you look around, and then you finally see over on the other side the one guy. He's got blonde hair and like a nice coat that's all embroidered and stuff. And he takes a nice fancy cane with like a pearl on top of it and stands up. Cheers to everyone! And another round on me. How about that? And everyone cheers. Yay, yay, oh.
Kallax downs his tankard and then puts on the table. Bartender, you heard the man.
And bartender will start to... A barmaid comes up. And you can see she's kind of like arguing with this blonde girl. And she says, and they like have an argument. She's just kind of like, whatever. And the blonde girl, she looks like she might have worked there, comes up and sits at the other end of the bar, far away from you, and she's grabbing cups and stuff, and beer is being passed out to everybody. And then he puts a big frothy mug right in front of you.
What a generous patron you have there. Does he do this often?
Oh yeah, he's been keeping my doors open lately.
You can't be angry about that.
No, I'm not. His name's Fingal, the Osa.
No. I must thank him for these drinks.
That's who you were after. I didn't tell you that before. Sorry. So you turn around in your chair and you just kind of observe as he continues on about his ramblings, and he's just the life of the party over there. Now he's going from table to table. He's obviously had enough to drink that he's starting to be obvious, you know. And that's when you hear a clink right down next to you, and a stool pulls out, and the blonde girl who looks like a barmaid sits down next to you. Well, hey there, handsome.
Hello, ma'am. Greetings.
And just what does an interesting man look like you doing here all by yourself, looking shady in the corner?
I'm collecting free drinks, thanks to that patron over there.
I know. I'm having one too. I used to work here, but I guess I'm not anymore. That's okay. I'm getting a new job anyway. I'm going to be working over at the Mermaid's Arms.
You don't say.
That's right.
That's a hoity-toity kind of place.
You look like a man who can hold your drink. You want to see if you can beat me in a chugging contest? Gold says that you can't beat me.
Seems like you've already had quite a few.
Oh, come on. Are you scared?
Just wondering if you're trying to scam me.
No scam. I just like the way you look, Beard. She calls you.
He wants to see if maybe she's faking.
Okay.
Immigration. He's seen some charlatans in Skullport.
Make an insight check.
Insight. Nine.
This girl's extremely charming, and you can't help but be distracted. And you don't want to be distracted because you know this is a big one. But you decide, all right, sure. You trust her.
All right, let's have a drink. Maybe we can get him to pay for them.
Oh, he'll pay for them, all right. Put it on his tab. And the bartender just kind of gives her a roll of the eyes, and he says, "This is the last one for you." She goes, "What? I paid for everything. It's not like you can fire me and kick me out. I mean, I've still paid my way." You know, she's... Anyway, he pours you guys a drink, and she goes, "To you. And those eyes, Beard." And she clicks your mug. And make a Constitution saving throw.
It's going to be 13.
She got 10, so
Okay.
you actually beat her in the chugging contest. My. And you're good at drinking. Isn't that nice? Well, let me tell you something. Just because I came up and offered to buy you a drink and you just beat me in stuff and I gave you your gold, that's all you're getting. Because I am not an easy woman, sir.
I think that.
I'm not going home with you.
Meeting a wench in a tavern, it was the farthest thing from my mind.
I'm not a wench either. My name's Maya, and I am a person. And I'm going to leave now, because I'm respectable. And hopefully my friend will take me home. Come on! And this girl comes out and she's obviously frustrated with her. It's like, lost another job, did you? Come on, Maya. Let's go. Bye, Beard. Don't shave that.
Safe travels.
And she goes outside and she leaves. About this time, you can see that the party's maybe winding down over there for your target. As he says, I bid you all adieu. I'm going to my bed for some fun. And he goes walking down the hall, because this is an inn. In this room here. Now from this point on, I'm going to let you just kind of do things your way. Okay. Now, this is an inn where people have, rooms upstairs. There's a couple of people like straggling back and forth to the room, but it's pretty much all locked doors. And you see him go down the hallway as he stumbles. I'm here, my dear. And he goes into his room. And he locks the door behind him. That is way too cheerful.
So nice.
So anyway, there you go. I'll let you approach it.
So what's this upstairs look like? What's the capacity of people? What do I see?
So you saw how big that inn was. So there's
Yeah.
probably a good 8 to 10 rooms up there, and he's all the way at the end. And you can almost I's it, I B's it. Each one of these is like a room, and you can walk through it, except for this bridge part. That's a hallway leading to his room, and we'll say, this is not a door. This is the door.
Yeah. What is the weather like in Waterdeep?
It's a clear night. It's a summer night.
Hot?
It's hot.
Maybe he's got his windows open?
Yeah. I would say he probably has a window open.
Would his room be...
I would say there's a window here, a window here.
Kallax is thinking probably the best way would be to maybe jump the scaffolding or kind of try to climb around the sides and
Okay.
sneak in a window.
Make an acrobatics check to jump the scaffolding.
Not going to be good. 5. He goes to the...
So he goes to do that, but like the wood is loose.
Yeah.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
It's going to be a little bit better. So that's going to be 18.
So as he jumps the scaffolding, this place is like a loose board, and he almost falls to his death. Not his death, but he falls. But he managed to catch himself real quick, and now he's hanging from the side. And he manages to just hold on. Now you can scale the wall. Now as you pass the first window, you can hear someone in there arguing. I can't make out what they're saying, just normal hubbub. Make a stealth roll for me as you try to sneak past their window.
I call myself a DM and I don't know where stealth is. So easy to just say to everybody, you do it. And it's going to be an 8.
An 8. Okay. So as you go by this window, I think someone's at the window. You can hear someone make out. So you want to try to, what would you do at this point? Would you speed up? Would you try and conceal yourself somehow by going back? What would Kallax do?
He's looking around and came out that one window and he's trying to get down there to the other window. How high is the building? Is it somewhere where he might
You're on the
try
second.
to pull
You're
himself up?
on. You're on the second floor.
Might want to try to pull himself up or drop himself down.
Okay, you could probably you see that the ledge up there. You could probably pull yourself up and maybe get up on top of the roof. Just make a athletics check.
That's going to be a 10.
Okay. Just in the nick of time, when they open up their window, you're up on the roof, and you manage to. And they stick their head out. You're crazy! I told you we're crazy! And he slams the window back there, arguing, and they go back to their. Now you can just walk safely over to the other room and
Thank God there's no roll to that one.
So come down to the window if you want.
Yeah.
So as you get to the window, you see that it's open. You can go ahead and look inside if you like. You're
All right,
able
yeah.
to do
Take
that.
a peek in there.
You can see him. He's like getting ready for bed and putting on his nice pajamas and pop, 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 like just popping his pillow and everything. Mm-hmm. He's excited. Okay, and how do you proceed?
I wait till he crawls into bed.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
At that point, I'll try to stealthily approach.
Okay. Make a stealth roll.
14.
You come in like a ghost.
Gently, just kind of boots on the ground, starts creeping in, pulling the dagger from the sheath.
Oh. Excuse me. It's just like that. Too much fun.
Just crawls up the edge of the bed
Mm-hmm.
to where he can just get the knife right by the guy's throat if he could.
Do you make yourself known?
Yeah, he's gonna crawl up the side of the bed. And put the knife right to his throat to where he knows he can't scream.
Who are you?
Strings. They're such a funny thing.
Please, what do you want?
Strings. Strings are a funny thing. They separate a man from his gold, and they separate the gold from other men.
Strings? What are you on about?
Purse strings.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at you, with all the finer things.
Yes, so what of it?
The only thing that separates me from those finer things is those strings.
Here now. Be gone. I think you've got the wrong room.
And he just kind of starts cutting his throat. Hand over them.
And you slit his throat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want those fire things.
So he's starting to bleed out.
He just keeps covering his mouth.
And he slowly goes to sleep.
Out of the powder room comes a
Beautiful looking courtesan woman. In gorgeous, fine, like lingerie clothes. And she's got green eyes and long black hair and porcelain skin and luscious lips, very voluptuous.
Shh.
What? Oh!
He's a criminal.
What? Who are you? What have you done?
I'm with the Lord's Alliance.
Who?
The Lord's Alliance. Everyone's heard of them. This is a criminal. A murderer.
He's
Yes.
no murderer.
Oh, that you know of.
What are you on about? Please, don't hurt me.
Of course not. I've come here to help you.
She's just extremely nervous and shaking. Just please, I'll do whatever you want. You can take me. I won't say a word.
He takes it, he wipes the knife off on the bed. This was a wanted man. He has murdered many women. It's okay.
Make a deception check.
15.
She does not trust you. She doesn't believe it. You're gonna hurt me. The Lord's Alliance doesn't sneak in through the window like that.
That you know of.
If you were Lord's Alliance, this place would be surrounded with horses and police. You're up to skullduggery.
There are certain factions of the Lord's Alliance that work stealthily. I've been following this man for days. You're lucky to be alive. He's murdered 3 women like you.
I've been with him all week. He's never shown me any kind of aggression at all. Nothing but kindness.
'Tis his game. Look. You're more than welcome to leave. My associates will be here soon enough.
You're not gonna hurt me if I leave.
No.
She starts to rapidly grab all her dresses. You can tell she's probably got some fine-looking dresses that he's been buying her, and she's shoving them into a bag, and she's gonna tuck it underneath her arm. She doesn't bother to get dressed, and she starts to make her way for the door.
Now, is she keeping her eye on me as she's going?
Oh yeah, she's gonna keep her eye, and then she turns away to grab the door handle, and that's where she's at. Give you a chance to react or let her go.
Well, we know he's not going to let her go. Just trying to think of a cool way to stop her. But
It's up to you. You can make your choice here. You have to decide what Kallax would have done in this moment.
oh, I know exactly what he'd do. I just got to find out how he's going to do it. You forgot some stuff over here. It's more of the jewelry. He hoards these things.
And she kind of like in this moment is like a deer in headlights. And she looks down at it.
That's what he wants, to just look away for a moment. And
She looks away.
Toss the dagger.
Tosses it? Throws it at her?
Throws it at her, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Nat 20.
Yeah. It goes right into her back. And she turns and looks at you in this look of horror. And she falls over dead.
He goes over there, pulls the blade out of her, wipes it off on her. He thinks, what's the name asked for it to be bloody?
Mm-hmm. But he said, bring the blade back, but bloody. That's what he meant. Basically, don't come back here unless you complete the mission. Is what he meant by that. Come back with blood on that knife.
Okay. You didn't know if he had to set a scene or something, you know?
As long as no one saw you kill her or him, and there's no witnesses that can talk about it, and you can slink out, you're fine.
So he gathers himself together, looks for some gold, starts grabbing whatever he can, valuable-wise.
He probably found quite a bit of gold and valuables.
He doesn't want to carry too much that it was like carrying bags like that.
No, there's probably not even that much, but this guy had a substantial purse on him. Probably about, I would say, anywhere from 45 gold to 50 gold.
And he never had a cloak, but he looks over, there's a cloak in the corner, nice little green one. He's like, you know what, I'll just put this around me. And that way the bags can kind of be around his belt, and he can just kind of cloak up. And he just goes to the door.
You look down the corridor, and there's no one there. Just be silent.
Shuts the door behind him, closing it, make sure. And then just kind of walks out the hall.
The name of this tavern was
Lucky's.
Mm-hmm. And this horrific murder that happened in years to come led to the closing of this establishment. It no longer exists in the town of Waterdeep. And Kallax, that night, his knife drank deeply, and he will now go back to present day Fenrir and Kallax.
Yeah, he's looking at that girl and he's thinking, why didn't I just let her walk out the door? No one would have believed her. She wouldn't have recognized him in a lineup. He would have just dipped back into Skullport, but he was still a rookie. He was raw. He was trying to prove himself. He wanted to overachieve. He'd been running around with, cutthroats and mercenaries and stuff like that for so long, and he didn't know that he wanted to belong to something. And so he really wanted to impress the beasts of burden so he could get in there.
Well, after that day, he was a full-fledged member, and Wilhelm started to give him real jobs. And that was his first real big hit, I would say. Or one of his first real big hits. You know what his first big hit was. But back to the streets of Baldur's Gate. The woman, she has her hand on his chest. Well, if you were sure. How about you, big man? It's not going to be that kind of night. Besides, I'm kind of spoken for now myself. We're going to have a boys' night, but thank you anyway. You have such sadness behind those eyes. If you ever want to smile, come and see me. Even if it's just to talk.
Thank you, good madam. Perhaps one day I will take you up on that. For now, I will travel with my friend here and try to ask him why he would turn down such a wonderful woman.
Your devotion to your girlfriends and your former wife has instilled in me a faith in men that I didn't think I had anymore. I will tell everyone of the barbarian and the holy man who passed through and changed everyone's lives. And she'll wander away. Well, if it isn't Kallax himself. Another female voice comes from the side of the street. And still being a goody two-shoes, I see. And you turn around and you see this younger girl, and she's got dark hair as well. And you may remember she looked like this. And you remember the very first session we ever had, there was a girl that remembered Kallax's past.
Yes.
And I don't remember what her name was, so we're going to make it up tonight.
Sure.
You know that her name is Winona.
Okay, Winona.
And she was the Gray Sparrow, a member of the Beast of Burns. Anyway, that's what she looked like. I brought her just out so you could see it.
Hello, Winona.
I haven't seen you since...
You asked me to eat a dick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
All the way over there on the other side of the ocean.
That had to be the best thing Fenrir's heard all day.
I like this one. What a spunky little girl.
Not everyone gets her comedy.
Nice company you're keeping these days.
He is a wonderful man. His name's Fenrir. He is from the north.
Ah, I can tell. Well, I never thought I would see you again. Fancy us meeting here.
I'm happy to see you. I'm hoping your paths have changed.
Actually, it may have.
Oh, please. I'd love to hear about it.
And I might say that, well, I'm not going to admit it, but maybe you had a hand in that. But I'm certainly not the same woman that I was that first night that you and I went out on the town. And with that, we're going to go through the last memory that Kallax has. There we go. Sorry. Your mind travels back to a time when you were with the Beast of Burden. You were a full-fledged member. You were the Red Boar. And here was one of Wilhelm's little wannabe pupils, the Gray Sparrow, who was all too eager to get her first kill. And on this night, Kallax was going to visit a infirmary, or a hospital, I would say, because he has been asked to go and check on the guard that has been placed at this hospital, protecting a big gangster who was injured. And Kallax has been put in charge of making sure that that man survives the night, because there was an assassination attempt on the man's life, and they're worried that other rival gangs will come to finish the job in the middle of the night. So Kallax is walking along when all of a sudden, out pops the Gray Sparrow. Where are you going?
I don't think you need to come with me. Don't Wilhelm have other jobs for you to do? Clean the stalls? Empty out the latrine?
Of that shit. Come on. Let me go with you. I'm good to fight.
I'm sure you are. You'll just get in my way.
Watch. See? I'm getting good with daggers. Come on, let me come with you. I can help.
Sure. But you do everything I say.
All right, finally.
You know, when I was your age, I didn't ask for permission. I just did.
Well, look at you, big tough guy. Sorry. I'm just trying to be your friend.
This job doesn't call for friends.
Oh, all right. Like the Black Stallions don't hang out together every day, all the time.
Yeah. They're annoying as fuck.
They really are. They don't ever talk either. That's really creepy. But yet somehow they know what each other is saying to one another. It's like strange. It's weird. I think that might be like incestuous too.
Yes.
That gross thing they do with their elbows. Yeah, what is that? Don't even understand. So you guys approach the hospital and you notice something strange. There's nobody standing out front. How do you proceed?
Go ahead. You go first. See what's going on.
She like creeps up. She gets to the hospital. She looks around. She looks back at you and she goes,
Go in.
she opens up the door.
Motions to go in.
She opens up the door. She walks in. And you wait for a little while. She comes back out and she says, there's only one nurse here. She comes back to you and says, there's only one nurse. There's no guard. Where's our boys? And then you know that something's wrong. Either someone has paid off the gang members that you were supposed to come and like be in charge of over the night, or something's wrong. And that there's probably going to be an assassination attempt, and now you know that it's just you and this girl that's going to stand between that happening.
So the patient's still there?
The patient is still there.
Right, so they would make their way into that room.
He's still in his bed. So you make your way into the room. Everything is secure inside the hospital. You look around, and you can tell that there's no one in the hospital, just the nurse and this man who's just bandaged up, sitting there unconscious. And you come back outside and you look out the door, and it's like a nice foggy night, and some shadowy figures emerge from the street. What do we do? So now it's like you sees it, you bees it. This is the hospital behind you, and this is the street. And they're kind of like just slowly emerging. Right here.
Does he recognize any of them?
He does not. No faces that he recognizes, but they're kind of, some of them are wearing masks. You might have maybe seen this guy once or twice in the local bars, but you don't know who he is. And they stop when they see you.
Yeah.
You can tell that they weren't expecting you to be there. They look around.
He's sitting there with his hands on his swords.
The main fella kind of twitches his head back and forth, looking at his men, or the people that he's with, and he'll step forward. And he's got two swords as well. And he'll say, just step aside. There doesn't need to be any bloodshed. Let us do what we've come to do, and we'll let you go.
I don't know who you are.
And you don't need to. Does anyone need to know who you are? We all do the same thing. We swing a sword, we spill blood, we disappear into the night. In the end, our names aren't important, just our deeds. And you're getting in the way of me doing mine.
Allow me to introduce myself then. I'm Kallax the Unquenched. Perhaps you've heard of me, heard of my deeds.
The one on the left.
The men that I've cut, the men that I've bled, the babies that I've slaughtered, the people I've killed.
Yeah, and I'm with him. She stands next to you annoyingly.
See, names are important. What we do matters. And word gets around. So yeah, I don't know who you are because you are nothing.
Make an intimidation check. with advantage. Okay, great. You can tell that at least a few of these men have been instilled with some fear. But not that fella in the front.
Of course not.
Well,
Seems like you want to make a name for yourself now.
sounds like you might be the one to help me do it. I've heard of you. And wouldn't it be nice to hang that pretty little head of yours on my wall, he says to the little girl. Hey, Bugsy, bring me that girl's head. And they're going to roll for initiative.
All right.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got a 4.
Okay.
Kallax just kind of steps back. He wants her to go first. You know, he kind of wants to use her as a decoy.
Let me roll hers, though.
She doesn't know that, but he's just kind of like, I'll let her be a decoy. I'll let her take some of the swings so they can't be swung on me. He's rather selfish like that. He has no emotional connection to her.
No, right.
Actually, you look at her and go, well, here's your chance to show me what you got, Gray Sparrow.
You bet. And with that, I have our order. And she actually rolled higher than everybody, so she is going to step forward, if you'll control them for me.
Yes.
And she's going to go right for that boss.
Okay.
And she's going to make an attack roll on him. And she clashes swords with him, but she has like little daggers, and he just pushes her away. And she does not make the attack. And now he goes and he will attack her. And he does strike her. Ah! And you can hear in her voice as she gets slashed a little bit of terror. And he rolls twice. And he gets her again. This time with a natural 20. So she slashed, and you can tell that she felt a little bit of a whimper of a fright in her mind. And then after that goes this fella. And he charges off. And he'll try to attack you. And he's going to get 11.
That won't hit.
And a natural 20.
Okay.
So he will hit you, and he is going to deal 5 piercing damage and 10 poison damage.
Okay.
Okay? Next is the thugs. If you will move a couple of the thugs next to her. Miss. Miss again. And the third one will go up to you. Is there 3? Yeah. He gets a natural 1. So this fight just breaks out, and the thugs just go for it now. And they actually roll with disadvantage because they were frightened.
Oh.
And so they just aren't able to come down on you all the way. They just can't bring it home. So now it's your turn.
Okay. So the guy who did the natural 20 is the leader?
Yeah, but he got a natural 20 on... well, actually, I'm sorry. Someone got a natural 20 on you, right?
Yeah.
There's 2... You can tell that this guy's a formidable warrior, and that guy's a very formidable warrior, just because you're such a good fighter yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you said the thugs...
Both bosses got a natural...
Okay.
I say bosses, but both of the two better warriors got natural 20s. One on
I just
her.
want to know who he would go after. He'd probably go after
They have
the
2
tougher,
swords.
the tougher warrior. Right, that's exactly what I'm going for. So he would go after that guy.
Yeah, you're gonna go for the fella who's...
So that would be 12.
A 12 to hit?
Yeah.
Just misses.
Right. And the other sword, 18 to hit.
Yes, that'll hit.
Okay. So What do we say? Scimitar is a D8 or D6?
It's a D6.
Yep. Okay. So that'll be 7 points slashing damage.
Okay. Okay, did you get a second attack?
Oh, I missed on one attack, and I did 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just went 2 attacks.
All right. Go ahead and make another attack just because you've done so well tonight. We'll say that was inspiration.
Of course. Well, that's going to be less than any of them.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you get into a nice little sword fight with this guy. And cling, cling, his blades are flashing and sparks are flying. And we're back to the top. When the gray sparrow will get back up and she'll try to attack. And she gets a 17 to hit, so she's going to do okay. And she is going to deal 10 damage to this fellow here. Okay. We're good to go. Back to the top. The main fellow will attack her. Natural 1 this time. And he attacks the second time and gets her and slashes at her again, striking her again. She just whimpers. You can hear her. She's in a tough spot over there. Now the thugs will go. First 2 on her. Both of them miss. 7 and a 1. And then the last... Oh, first the big boss comes after you. He rolls 1... He rolls 17 and a 12 to you. You'll take 5 slashing damage.
I need a pencil.
Here.
Okay.
5 slashing damage. And what other slugs? You know, I don't even need this anymore. Can't see a fucking thing. I don't know why I'm hiding.
You're trying to give the whole the feel of...
Trying to give you the feel. I can't see the battlefield. And there's one thug standing next to you, so he'll attack, and he only gets 10. Alright. So he doesn't hit you. Now it's back to you.
10. The first one's a miss. Next one's going to be 23.
Yes.
That's 7 damage.
Alrighty. Just then it starts to rain.
Oh, yes. Mood.
Make the mood. Just it starts to rain on you guys.
Streets filled with blood.
Yeah. Blood is flowing into the mud.
Yeah.
Here's your pencil. Okay. Now it's back to the shop. I'm going to have, you know what? I want this to be exciting. I'm tired of rolling for all the characters. Mm-hmm. Will you roll for her?
Okay. I rolled a 17.
Okay, that's going to hit, and she's going to. We're going to say that she's still going after the other big boy. That's.
She got daggers.
Yeah.
She wants to say both of them hit, or.
Oh, I have her damage written down.
Okay.
So she's going to take a slash at one of those big boys over there, or those assholes, and that's it. Okay. Make a second attack with her, please.
16. I'm rolling better for her then.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So she gets another. Alright, so she's starting to do better. She's getting surrounded, so she goes after the big fella. She stabs him a couple of times, and he kind of recoils. And it's going to go back to the boss. The boss. I wrote down bosses, sorry. They make 2 attacks. It's one of them is going to be 17 to hit her, so she's hit again. She's still up. She's being chipped away at, and her second attack misses. Then the 2 thugs, they both get a hit on her. She's not doing well. She's getting overrun. Now the fella here in front of you does dirty 20 hit.
Of course.
Does 13 hit?
No.
Okay, so you'll take 5 slashing damage from the double-sworded man. And the last thug, he gets a natural 1 on you.
Okay.
Alright. Go ahead. Go make your turn.
Alright, that's a dirty 20, so that's good. It's a good start.
Okay. And
7.
Alright.
So that's good. 13 would be the next one.
Yep, that hits.
Okay. That would be 6 damage.
He is not looking good at all.
So I would use the action surge now, you would suggest.
You certainly can.
Okay.
You get 2 attacks.
All right. Natural 1. And, well, none of that hits.
Okay.
It's a 5.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Wasted.
Stop rolling like that.
Yeah. You got to prepare for these things, DM.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to have Winona is going to disengage from that fight because she's getting messed up, and she does like a little backflip, and she's going to run over here at your side. And she does that as a bonus action because she's a rogue. A special one that I designed. But anyway, she's going to help you attack that thug there. That thing just fell sideways. A natural 20. So she crits. She's going to... I wrote this, okay. She deals 15 damage to the thug there. So, it's down to 10. And I'm going to give her an extra 2d6 for being next to you. We'll say she gets sneak attack. Because preparing. And that... down here. Very good. Alright, back to the top. This fella here, he comes forward. And he can tell that you guys are just in a whirling fight. So everyone's just going to kind of surround you. And they'll hold their actions in case you manage to kill these fellas and break loose. Okay. I will say that the fella who's engaged with you will take 1 attack on her and miss, and 1 attack on you and also miss. That's only a 10 to hit. And the thug who's there will make 1 last attack at you, and that's another 4, so that's going to be 8 to hit. No. And we're back to you, sir, again.
Alright. 15.
15, that hits.
Okay. This will be 5 points damage.
Okay, how does that first kill look? You've killed this first boss fellow.
Finally got the blade right into the guy's chest. And he's kind of twisted. He wants to... Why? The thug kind of looks at it. He wants to kind of swipe at him, surprised like...
And he drops his sword and he falls.
Yeah, he just kind of lets the sword in it while the guy falls, and he swings with the other. Then that's going to be a 12.
Yeah, that'll hit. Oh no, it's just a 12?
Yeah,
Straight 12?
12.
Okay, that hit misses actually. Sorry about that. Okay. Back to her. She is going to go ahead and make her first attempt to kill him. That's nat 20. That's it for him. So this guy's down. Boom. And she'll turn to face this fella here. And she'll make a second attack. And that is going to be 14 to hit. That hits. So she deals another 10. Okay. Back to this fella here. Now this is the fella who was smart mouthing you the whole time. This is the main fella. He makes 2 attacks on you, 14 and a dirty 20.
That dirty 20 will hit.
The dirty 20 will deal 5 slashing damage to you.
Okay.
And this fella will come in and flank. And he's going to swing his fist at you. And he gets a 2.
Okay.
So that's 6. So he misses. And the last thug will try to hit her. And that's a 15. That's on the nosy for her, so she gets slashed again. And she's starting to stumble back. And she like bumps into you. And you guys are like back to back, like fighting together. And it's back to her. And she will turn and she will use the assist action to help you distract him. And he comes in to attack, and because she's assisted, he's going to have disadvantage, which is good because he rolled a natural 20.
So he gets a 6 and a 12 to hit. No?
Nope.
Okay, the last thug, he comes in. He's going to get 14 to hit.
No.
And the last thug here will come up and try to hit her. And he does hit her. Just, I don't know how much more I can take. And it's back to you.
Alright. Let's see if the rolls
And
are
because
good.
she assisted you, you're going to have advantage on that attack.
Well, go with the first one, so it's going to be 21.
Hits.
Yep.
Roll your damage.
7 slashing damage.
Okay.
Second attack.
Second attack.
16. 7 damage.
How does that one look?
Well, he just he grabs the sword out of the dead body as he's swinging with the one, cutting him. He pulls the sword out of the other dead body, then swings that one back at him. You know, just chopping. He's kind of the reins in his eyes, blood's all in him. He's not even. It's kind of he's gone almost feral, like Fenrir would tell him stories about losing into bloodlust.
Right. So you kill this fella, he's slashed to bits, and he falls backwards, and he lands in the mud. And with his last breath, my name was Carl. And he dies. And the other two fellas, they don't know what to think. You just killed their boss. How did you react?
And he starts. You turn around and starts swinging again, like he's in the bloodlust.
Okay, make an intimidation check while you're doing it, because you're just like scary.
That was a 19.
That's good. So now these men are frightened of you, and I want you to go ahead and attack with advantage. Is that 2 natural ones?
No, 2 natural 2s.
2 natural 2s. Make your second attack.
16.
You're
Plus,
supposed to say shit motherfucker when you roll things.
no,
All right.
I'm doing everything I can to not look cool.
Now you're in a blood rage. I want you to roll 2 d6s. like you just go in with both scimitars.
$10.
Okay. Let me cross this fella off. We got one fella who's dead. You cut so deep into this big fella, he stumbles back, and there's like he's just blood pouring out of him. And now it's their turn again, and they're still frightened. So I'm gonna have them attack with disadvantage. They still manage to slash her, and you hear her gasp, "Ah!" as she goes to the ground. And then that one big fella, he comes at you with one last swing of his fist, and he gets a dirty 20 to hit you.
Okay.
He'll take 5 bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
So he punches you in the face with his big. It's like a bugbear or something. He's an ogreish looking man.
Yeah.
You're not really sure if he's an ogre or a shaved bugbear or what. Okay, now it's your turn. The sight of her going down has really made you angry.
23 to hit.
Actually, it was her turn. She's going to roll one fail.
Alright.
23 hits. Go ahead and make your damage roll.
5.
You murder that fella.
Okay.
How does that look?
Well, he's drenched in blood. He's wounded. His wounds are open. He saw her go down, and he kind of comes up and goes after the bugbear's leg with one sword, and the other one goes right into his side. He swings both at like the same time, almost.
All right.
This is
His
great.
life- He falls face forward into the mud. Blood just starting to pool out into the rain.
He just turns to the other guy, blood running down his face.
And the other, that was only one attack, right?
Yeah.
So you have another attack on that fella.
Yeah, he's facing him down. The rain coming through him.
The guy just kind of like takes a stance like this, and You can tell he's scared, but he's got no choice. He knows that he can't go home, and he knows that he can't turn his back on you. So he's just gonna try and...
I get it. I understand.
Ah!
11. 11.
So you slash at him, but he slips in the mud as he's so scared. He accidentally just like slips out of the way of your sword and almost stumbles backwards. That's back to Grey Sparrow. 1 success. Okay. And it's back to him. So he'll make one attack at you. He gets a natural 20. So he pulls out a second dagger from his back, small of his back, and he sticks you with it. And this one stings a little. So you take 15 points of damage. 5 piercing and 10 poison.
Then I'm down.
You're down?
I'm down.
Okay. So you're sitting there, and you crumble down next to her, and she's gonna make one more death saving throw, and you can see that the light is fading from her eyes, and that callous feeling that you've always had of not caring about anyone, for some reason, just almost like a spark of care comes from nowhere, almost like a tiny candle lit in the dark, and it fills you with rage, and it gives you 1 HP, a second wind. So use your, this is actually not cheating because you have a bonus action that you could have used at any time to heal for 7 plus a D10, so roll it.
7 plus a D10?
Yep.
Where's this coming from?
That is in the fighter's abilities.
Oh, wow.
You didn't use it the whole time, you could have.
6 plus
So
whatever.
you have 6 HP. I just managed to... I'm just letting you use it after you went down.
No.
You could have used it in your last turn and it would have been fine. But
No, I don't have
is
a
actually,
fighter set on me.
This is actually a better story anyway. So you went down and he's seeing the life fade out of her and he looks up at this guy and you can tell that he's about to like pivot and run and you have one last chance.
You know this is going to be a bad roll, right?
It's alright.
It's going to be awful.
You get 2 chances.
I'd say 4.
Okay.
That's a 2.
That's a 2.
Yes.
You slash at this fella, but you just catch his cloak, and he turns back, but he stabbed you with his dagger, and he realizes that you're down, and this is the last moment that he has to be able to get away, and he runs off into the night, and he leaves you alone. But you've kept him from going into the hospital, and you've got her in your arms. What do you do?
Well, you say that a spark of life was why he was impugned to continue to fight, but it was more his pride, because he doesn't really care about her. He thinks, you know what? If she dies, she dies.
So you have 6 HP. Do you see how far away he is? It's your turn. You can catch him if you want, and you can leave her there.
Yeah, he would want to finish what he started.
I'll have you chase,
Okay.
and you leave her there behind.
He just kind of looks down at her. You're not built for this.
All right. So you can go ahead and make your movement.
Okay.
You got 30 feet.
20, 25, 30, yeah.
And he will turn around and he will.
That little dagger.
Oh, there you go.
out.
You can make a ranged attack if you want.
Thinks about that first kill with it and hopes that this will roll well.
And he throws it. Roll with advantage. Do it. What'd you get?
I got an 8 and a 3.
8 plus.
I mean, what are we adding it to? I don't have a dagger on here. So what's a
It's
dagger's
strength
like?
or dex. 1.
Well, okay.
Whichever one's the highest.
Well, strength's 2 then, so it's gonna be a 10. You can't lie, man.
Can't lie. The dice tell the story. So he keeps on running, and he'll move another 30 feet himself. So we'll just move you back 30 feet. And he'll throw one of his daggers at you. And 14. Okay, it goes flying by you. And it's your turn.
I'm just gonna do this back and forth. Well, he doesn't have a dagger anymore, so he's just gotta chase him down.
Yeah, you see the dagger, you're going to run by it. You can pick it up off the ground.
Okay.
Take one more shot. You're really fucking pissed now.
I don't know if the dice are pissed. We'll use this sharp edge one.
Yeah, use the sharp
Alright.
edge one. Do it at the dice.
The 18.
This time the dagger sticks in him. And that is going to be the end of this die. So how does it look? What happens?
Well, the
He
dagger
falls, he trips, and he's still alive, but he's just kind of crawling on the ground to try to get away from you.
staggers up all bloody.
He's trying to get
And
away.
he just kind of puts his foot on the dagger and keeps pushing it through. And he's thinking, if my father had just made it more aerodynamic, it would have hit the first fucking time. Another reason to be pissed at his old man.
So now you're real pissed. And you kind of stagger back to the hospital. It's like a lesson in life. Sometimes warriors get their butts kicked a little bit, but you managed to survive again. You come back a little wounded,
He's bathed in blood.
bathed in blood, and you get back to the hospital. The nurse who was caring for the fella has now come outside and is trying to has blocked the wounds of the Great Sparrow and is doing her due diligence to keep her alive. And she's back to consciousness, barely. Did we get him?
The deed's done.
Cool. I did really good, right?
Failed miserably. Go find another line of work.
Whatever. You like me, you know it. And then we go back to present day. Present day.
As she's standing there, he kind of touches that dagger wound because the scar's
Yeah.
still there. Kind of feels fresh. It was a close one that night, he remembers, and he thinks about how hard he was on her. And he does question, was he worried about her dying, or was he worried about her general safety, or was he just angry that he wasn't performing to his best of his abilities?
Well, I can't say that was my favorite night ever, but I've come a long way. And you were right last time we talked. And I didn't want to believe it. You're the best killer I ever known. And I hated you for it. But I found God myself. And she pulls out her shield, and it's got an emblem of Saloon on it. She goes, I'm actually here on a pilgrimage. I've been going around trying to help people. I'm about to head to Waterdeep. Thank you, Kallax. I always looked up to you. I can't believe that this is where our paths has led us. It's kind of kismet that we met here today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something about surviving that night together. Maybe that was the beginning of our journey to get here. We had to be baptized in blood.
Well, I certainly puked up a lot of blood for a few days after that. So there's that. This is a lot more peaceful life. I'll say that. I mean, sometimes I miss killing people. I'm just kidding. And Fenrir laughs. I like this one. Well, do you two still drink? Because I'm still famished and want to get that lunch.
Would you fancy to join us for a drink?
I'd love to. And she follows you guys.
And we're walking towards the place, and there's a well.
Okay.
And Fenrir and her are still walking, and Kallax goes to the well. And pulls the blade out. He still has it. And he kind of looks at it, he's like, my dad did do a good job on this blade. It helped me out of a lot of jams. But then he sees the boar's head. And he drops it in the well.
And the dagger falls and splashes. And Kallax's reflection as he looks down and the water stops rippling. And he looks into his own reflection and he sees his face. And the sky above him
is shining bright. And that is where we will end.